Hello the internet, hope you're all well, thanks for stopping by. I have another consumer test and review for you today, and I am looking at the TP-Link Deco BE9300, otherwise known as the Deco BE65. This is the triple pack. Now, this is a mesh Wi-Fi 7 router system. Been after one of these for a little while, but it's only just come down to a price that's made it anywhere near affordable. These are expensive things. Wi-Fi 7 are quite new technologies, and really it's going up against something like the Orbi Wi-Fi 7 system. Now, the Orbi Wi-Fi 7 system is RRP of 760 quid, currently on Amazon at £599.99, still a lot of money. This RRP is £699 on Amazon. Currently on sale for £494.99, which is what I've picked this up at. It's only just been delivered, it's still in cellophane wrapping. I have bought this myself, it's not been gifted to me. I am not an affiliate of anyone. What you see and hear in this review is entirely my opinion. Now, my reason behind spending all my hard-earned money on the Deco product by TP-Link is several-fold. I've been using TP-Link for many years now. They've not let me down yet. I've got network switches, I've got power line adapters, I think I've got 10 of the Tapo branded TP-Link security cameras. I've got smart sockets, smart bulbs. I've got all sorts of TP-Link branded things, and so far they've been really good, so I was willing to give them a go. But also I was looking for best bang for buck, because while the Orbi by Netgear solutions are incredibly good, they're also incredibly expensive. I was after best value. I wanted a Wi-Fi 7 mesh. That was the main crux. I wanted a Wi-Fi 7 mesh system. I wanted 3 nodes for reasons I'll show in this video. But I also wanted best value on Wi-Fi 7 because it's a new technology. It's very expensive, and the TP-Link branded products are generally really good value for money. Now, these have been out for a few months already, and the reviews I've seen today all suggest these are great performing, but also exceptional value for money, and I'm hoping that's true. It's really only the Eros and the Orbis that offer better performance, but they're so much more expensive. And you know, money's tight these days. You've got to be careful where you spend your money, and I'm hoping that this can deliver the kind of bang for buck I'm hoping for. And I want this review to be about real world conditions. There are plenty of fantastic people on YouTube who can show you all the technical details through lab conditions, but I want this to be about you and me, real world people using these in real world situations. And my real world situation is that when you take into account all the laptops, computers, TVs, smart sockets, all the Echo Dots, all these type of things, I've got well over 100 devices connected to my Wi-Fi currently. And I've got requirements for some large range as well, because I'm sitting in my office where I usually do my YouTube videos, and I'm as far away inside this house as I can be from my current Virgin Super Hub, which is in the far corner downstairs. But performance is acceptable. However, I've recently set up a new sim rig out in the garden in a new shed, and it's quite some distance away, and it's right on the fringe of what the Super Hub can do. So this is the reason why I've invested some money in getting a better system, and I wanted the 3 nodes. So there's one going to be next to my Virgin Super Hub, one is going to be in here, and one is going to be out in my sim shed. Now, there are 2 different versions of this available. They're both same BE9300 or BE65, depending on which name you go with, but one is the Pro. The only difference between this and the Pro is that it's got 5 gigahertz connectivity rather than 2.5 gigahertz connectivity. Now, I don't think I'm going to use that, certainly not to the extent that's going to warrant the extra £50 to £60 in retail price. So I've gone with the non-Pro version, which I think is the one that most people will go with, purely because it's better bang for buck. Okay then, let's go ahead and get this thing set up. I'll shorten any sequences where we're twiddling our thumbs otherwise, but I will tell you of any delays that I encountered. I'm going to show you everything I did to set these 3 nodes up. I'm going to show you connecting through the Deco TP-Link software. I'm going to show you speed tests. I'm going to show you all the devices I've got connected to this thing. And hopefully you'll be able to see for yourself whether these are the devices for you. You don't need a great deal of technical knowledge to set these up, and the app is really good, as I'm going to show you. So first you need to go ahead and download the TP-Link Deco app from either the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. As you can see there, it's actually a very highly regarded app. It's got 5 stars, and having used it for about a week now, I would agree with that. When you first open the app, you'll need to accept the terms and conditions and decide whether you want to join the user improvement program. If it asks, you'll need to allow the Deco to find your network, and then you'll either need to create a new TP-Link account or input one that you already have. You can choose to turn on Face ID if you wished. I did that here. And also, if you want to turn on two-factor verification, again, that's what I've done just here. At this point, to verify my account, I had to put my TP-Link ID and password in, and then it sent me an email with a verification code, which I've just inputted there. Then it says plug in your Deco and wait until the blue light comes on. So that's what I do. Plug in the power cable into the socket at the back of the TP-Link Deco and then wait for the blue light to come on. That's the LED at the bottom. It glows orange to start with, and then after about 30 seconds to a minute it will go blue, as it does there. It's now pulsing blue, which is what is requested for it to do on the screen. It's now pulsing blue, so let's begin. Allow it to connect to Bluetooth devices. Apparently I've got a lot of Bluetooth devices, and then it starts to look for the Deco, and this is where I encountered my first problem. It says there we couldn't find your Deco. And I experienced this multiple times on all three Decos, so I ended up looking for a help video.
Setting up the TP-Link Deco BE65 Pro Wi-Fi 7 mesh system is easy using the Deco app. Then, unplug your internet modem, connect your Deco to the modem and Ethernet cable. Keep in mind, each Deco mesh node can function as a standalone router. Just pick one and connect it.
Well, that's different. That shows plugging in the Ethernet cable first. It doesn't make any mention of plugging in the power cable first. So this is what I'm doing. I've unplugged the power cable. I'm now looking for which port to plug in the Ethernet cable. Any one of the available ports will do. And then feed that back into the back of your existing modem and router, in my case the Virgin Super 5. So I've plugged them both in, I've put the power back in, and it's connected to the Deco. Great stuff, it's all sorted it out. However, only now does the app tell you to plug your Deco into the modem via an Ethernet cable. It wouldn't do that for me. It would not get to this stage without plugging in the Ethernet cable. Anyway, we're sorted now. You do need to restart your modem, so go ahead and turn off your existing modem, and when it restarts, click the modem restarter button and choose which room you want to place it in. And we've got another problem. It's now saying the Ethernet cable is not connected. I can assure you it was. So I simply unplugged it and plugged it into another socket. Shouldn't have made any difference because all the sockets are exactly the same, and it now connected to the internet. Don't you just love technology? Anyway, here I had no idea what I was doing, so I just clicked next and it seemed to work. Then you need to create your Wi-Fi network. But if you put in the exact same details as your previous Wi-Fi router, so that's the name and the password, it will connect to all of your devices that are currently connected. Everything that you've got currently connected to your old Wi-Fi will be intercepted by the Deco and they will automatically connect. You do not need to connect anything else up. Good, innit? And genuinely, it was, with the exception of the little hiccup about when you need to plug in the Ethernet cable, it was seamless. It was really great. I've had nightmares in the past reconfiguring new routers, having to set up all of my devices again. Didn't need to do it. Fantastic. And then once you've finished sorting out your main node, you need to find homes for your two other nodes. So find where you want to put them, plug them in, and it'll do everything else automatically. 30 seconds to a minute, it will connect to your network. So that's how I set up the TP-Link Deco BE65, the BE9300. That refers to the combined bandwidth of all the networks. The BE65, that was a week ago. I've now had a week to experience it to its max. I've spent a week in my office doing proper work. I've spent a week in my office doing my YouTube videos and various other creative things in here, and I've also had plenty of time to spend down in my sim bunker at the bottom end of the garden, which was the most important driver behind this exercise. So what did I think of that? Well, this building was always going to be the problem. Even when I built it, I knew it was going to be a challenge to get an internet signal out here because I'm just so far away from the router in the house. It's got to go through the external wall. Okay, it's a patio door. Then you've got the external structure of this. You've got all the interference of a lot of electrical equipment in here. It was always going to be a challenge to get a decent internet signal in here. But I needed something that was reliable. If I'm going to be doing online gaming, doing iRacing or Assetto Corsa, games like that, it needs a stable connection. When you're playing online driving games, you don't want your car jumping around all over the place or other people's cars jumping around all over the place. But so far from what I've been using it has been a stable connection, so I'm happy, very happy. Such is the improvement to the signal strength and the reliability of that signal that I don't feel the need to have the wireless router out on display somewhere. It hasn't got direct line of sight. It's actually stuffed down here underneath this cabinet, just down here underneath all of this lot. So it's plugged in by the network cable to the PS5 and to the PC, and then it's got multiple wireless devices connected to it, plus the all the security cameras outside at this end of the garden, they're all connected to it, and the signal strength is really strong. All of these devices are getting enough bandwidth to be able to power them adequately, and yeah, it's really good. So what has the performance difference been since I installed this? Well, I carried out a speed test immediately before and immediately after installing it. And up on the screen at the moment, over that side of the screen, you can see the performance of the old Virgin Super Hub. And on that side of the screen, you can see the performance of the new Deco BE65. Now, the first test you can see over there is the download speed, which was 730 megabits a second for the new one, whereas previously it was 376. What you're seeing now is the upload speed, marginally better. It was never going to be a huge amount of difference, but 105, that is pretty much the best I'm expecting to get from my Virgin connection. My Virgin connection is a 1 gig connection. Very rarely ever get anywhere near it. 750, 800 is the most I'll ever get. Now, those ones you just saw was right next to the original hubs. That's literally propping my phone up against the router themselves. Now, what you're seeing now is in this room here at the far end of the house. And as you can see, more than double the download speed for the Deco BE65 compared to the Virgin Hub. This is the upload speed. Again, knocking on the door of 100 megabyte upload, just under for the old system. So that is really good. I'm very happy with that because this is where I do the majority of my internet transfer, and it's a long way from the original router through a lot of walls and other electrical connections. Now, this what you're seeing here is in the SIM bunker. So at the bottom end of the garden, this again over 100 megabits a second difference compared to the old Virgin Super Hub. So that again, really good. The upload speed, and this is quite important to me because I do transfer a lot of data between the two offices. Again, we're getting over 100 megabit upload speed, whereas before it was 94, 95, which was all right, but it wasn't reliable. Now this here, that's right down at the bottom end of the garden where I've got a few security cameras, so as far away from my property as I possibly get, far away from the router as I possibly can. On that side of the screen, you'll see what I was originally getting, which was 145 megabits. 150 maybe, whereas again another 100 megabits per second faster. Now obviously I'm not getting the full 1 gigabit I should be getting from Virgin, but I never ever got that anyway. But what was most important to find was how reliable it was. It's a consistent signal, and I am more than happy with that. So 4 different places, long way from the original router, and I'm getting a very strong, very consistent signal, and I'm happy with that. Now, do I need Wi-Fi 7? Probably not. Very few people do need Wi-Fi 7, but it is future-proofing everything. It's not that much greater expense than a current Wi-Fi 6 or 6E system, and if you do have a lot of devices, it does kind of make a difference. Wi-Fi 6 and 6E tends to get a bit clogged up when you get around 100 devices. When I take into account everything I've got about 120 devices. Now, I'll caveat that by saying the Philips Hue light bulbs go through a central hub. So I've got 40 Hue bulbs and 5 wireless dimmer switches. So in actual fact, it's more like 70 to 75 wireless devices connected at any one time. Well, that's still an awful lot of devices. Wi-Fi 7 gives you potential for up to 200 devices. So I'm future-proof should I expand even further. Now, I also want to say something about the TP-Link Deco app that goes with your router, because an app can quite often make or break your experience with a product. I've had many very good products that have been just completely ruined by the ecosystem of the app and software that comes with it. I mean, I've got loads of security cameras. I've had loads of security cameras, and I currently favour TP-Link's other product range, the Tapo range of security cameras. This is a brand spanking new one. It's only just come out, again, still in its cellophane wrapping, and I've yet to even install that on, but I will be doing a review in the next couple of weeks of that one, so check that one out. But the reason I go with Tapo, I've gone away from Swan and Eero and all the other many security cameras, is because their app is just superb, and they've continued the vein with the Deco app here. It's just absolutely wonderful. So let's take a quick look. Off the main menu, you can test your internet speed. This little process takes about 30 to 40 seconds. I've sped it up on here. Test your download and upload speed. Lets you know how fast you're going. So I'm getting just over a gigabyte of internet connection download and just over 100 megabytes of upload, which is what I'm supposed to be getting. It's certainly what I'm paying for with Virgin. If you've got any smart sockets that are TP-Link branded, you can control them from here. You can turn them on and off from in here, or even schedule them. Down at the bottom there, you've got 4 options. This is the security tab. It'll do a quick security check. It'll tell you what security compromises you've got, what firmware you're on, whether you've got port forwarding on, tell you the strength and how strong your passwords are. This is great. This is a block mode. If you see anything you don't recognize, you can block that device from accessing, and you can use this to prevent access to all devices that you have selected to be blocked. Or you can choose the allow list, where it will only allow devices to be connected that you have actively chosen to allow access. Device isolation, this is where you can choose the network to be restricted in access to certain devices that you've set up, such as Internet of Things items. This here, you can choose to have home mode or local only mode for your CCTV cameras. For example, you can turn off internal cameras that might be in your bedroom or in sensitive areas while you're at home. That's a good thing to be able to have. Now, further along down the bottom is something that is very important to a lot of people: parental controls. This is totally free on the TP-Link system. Other devices such as Eero hide certain functions behind a paywall. This one is really good and it's free. You can choose which devices are assigned to certain people, and then you can restrict access to that device between certain times if you so wish. This is really good. Further along on the More tab at the bottom, this is like a settings area. We've got the Deco Lab experimental area. This is the quality of service tab, and this is potentially really good. If you've got devices that you want having priority over others, say your work computer during the day, you can attribute a certain amount of bandwidth to certain devices. So it'll run a quick speed test to attribute what kind of bandwidth is available to you, and then you can highlight whichever product you want to have a priority. This is the guest network, where you set up a specific network to offer to guests when they come around to see you. Now this is good. This is the Internet of Things network. You can create a specific network for devices classed as Internet of Things. Things like smart sockets and speakers that you might think have got security compromises. Right, what else? Advanced. If you click on the Advanced tab, there's a lot of things you won't look at, but USB sharing down towards the bottom. This is really good. Each of your Tapo devices has a single USB port, which you can connect in a device, and in my case, I've connected a external hard drive, a SanDisk Extreme SSD hard drive, and it allows me to transfer video files from my sim rig to my YouTube computer. I've uploaded here a 1.3 gigabyte video file, and it took 1 minute 19 to upload it and 41 seconds to download it back to my other computer, and that's really good. I am making big use of that. Now, what else? This is also really good. New device alerts. If you get a device that tries to connect to your network, you can set it to send you a push notification or an email alert, and then you can decide what you want to do with it. That is really useful too. Here you can add other family members or administrators to also control your network. Here, this is also a good function. The LED you can turn off. It's quite a bright light. It's not as bright as the Virgin Super Hub, but if you don't want that light shining brightly at night, you can turn it off or set a specific schedule for it to turn on and off. Again, really good. Well, I think it's time for a bit of a wrap up, don't you? I've had it a week. What do I think? Well, so far I have been really pleasantly surprised by it. I knew it was going to be pretty good, but I thought the range might cause a bit of an issue with it being in 2 different buildings entirely, but it has worked wonderfully well. The performance, the reliability, the bandwidth, the number of devices I've had connected, it's all been working well as I would have hoped, but wasn't expecting it to deliver. Is the Deco the right one for you though? For me, I am confident I've made the right decision. But for you, you need to decide whether you need to be spending that kind of money. If you do want a Wi-Fi 7 device, there aren't many cheaper devices available. I'm looking on Amazon at the moment. Only really, there's the Linksys Velop Micro 7 mesh system, which is a cheaper device. It's £334 on offer, usually £399. 3 nodes, so the same as that, but doesn't have anything like the speed. It's a BE5000 compared to a BE9300, and it's got up to 200 square meters per node. So whether that will give you the range and the performance that you're looking for, I'm not too sure, but I've never used it. But then beyond the Deco, it suddenly goes up in price. You're then looking at, as I mentioned earlier on the video, the Netgear Orbi, which is £600 on offer, RRP of £760. And then it steps up again even further. You've got the Amazon Aero Pro 7. Now that is widely regarded as being one of the best Wi-Fi 7 devices. I've seen plenty of very, very promising reviews about that. But they're £300 per node, or as a pack of 3, £699. A lot of money. So do you need Wi-Fi 7? That's entirely down to how many devices you've got, what sort of bandwidth you need, and really how future-proof you want it to be. If you don't need Wi-Fi 7, you can make do with Wi-Fi 6 or Wi-Fi 6E. I would recommend to you the TP-Link Deco XE75. It's the device I was planning on getting before this thing came out and made me think twice. I recommended that to a number of my mates, and I've got 2 mates who have bought that set and they are really pleased with it and got no intention of moving away from it. That is an RRP of, well, currently it says £371.29 on Amazon, but it's currently on offer for £330. It has been out for a few years, so it might be due a change, but I do recommend that device. But for me, I always ask the same question. Would I buy a product again if I knew then what I know now? And I've got to say, what I know now is that is giving me everything I hoped it would. Yes, there are better performing devices out there. The Aero and the Orbi are the more ultimate Wi-Fi 7 devices, but to go for those, I've got to pay a lot more money. And my driver at the start of this was best bang for buck. To get a Wi-Fi 7 with 3 nodes, that is giving me the best value for money possible. And if it suits everything that you're looking for, then I highly do recommend it. I think the Deco ecosystem is absolutely wonderful. TP-Link have done a really good job on all of their systems, whether it's Tapo, Casa or Deco. They all seem to work well together, and I will continue to use them. Yes, the app does have a couple of issues. Obviously, you saw when I was installing it, it had a bit of a hiccup due to the Ethernet connection when you were supposed to plug that in, but that's a bit of a first world problem. Beyond that, the app, which I think is really, really good. If I was nitpicking, I'd like for there to be a few more descriptions of devices, because in there's like television, or no, it's entertainment, laptop, computer, Internet of Things, and maybe 1 or 2 other things. But I thought they could just expand that a little bit more for, like, I don't know, smart speakers or CCTV cameras. But again, first world problem. It's not going to stop me recommending this product. So for me, I am perfectly happy to recommend this product to you. £500, a lot of money, but if it ticks all your boxes, I'd certainly buy that again, and I do recommend it to you. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful and is perhaps giving you some pointers towards which product is the right one for you. If you have found it useful, do tell me about it in the comment section below, and perhaps consider a like or a subscribe to the channel. I really would appreciate it. Anyway, I shall see you on the next video. Take it easy.